Buenos dias, and happy Babylon launch day. We are 27 Bitcoin blocks away, and by the time you're watching this video, this might be a lot less and super close. So in today's video, I'm going to show you the rough game plan and to also set your expectations for what's going to happen today. But also, we're going to be talking about a brand new Cosmos Layer 1 blockchain that just announced a mega raise, a 9-figure mega raise, and a lot more. Also news about Osmosis, which you have to hear. Bitcoin staking is coming to life. And if you want to be one of the first to lock up your BTC and to be early in the Babylon protocol to also earn your points, because there is going to be a points system, and this might later then translate into BBN tokens, which is going to be the native token for the Babylon network. The BBN token is not going to go live today. This is a phased rollout where we're just going to see phase 1 of the mainnet launch today of the Babylon mainnet, which just allows for locking up your BTC. And in the next phase, phase 2, you'll be able to then stake your BTC. And then only after that, we'll potentially see the launch of the BBN token. If you want to try your best, try your luck to be one of the earliest Bitcoin stakers in the entire world, because that's a first that Babylon is going to introduce Bitcoin staking, make sure you set up your wallet and make sure, either of these wallets, and make sure that you load it up with BTC that you want to stake. Keep in mind that there is going to be a minimum that you will have to lock up, which is I think 0.005 BTC, and a maximum of 0.05 BTC. We anticipate that the FOMO for people to ape into this early is going to be out of this world, which means two things. Number one, if you're manually trying to do this, from your computer, even if you're trying to time it right, it says here that staking will be enabled 10 bucks after the countdown ends. So even if you're glued to your screen, watch the timer go down, and you try to be first, you will most likely be front run and outpaced by those organizations, teams, individuals that have scripts in play spread across probably hundreds of wallets that will FOMO into this, and they will just have these bots ready to outpace you if you're trying to do this manually, right? So the likelihood for you to get in is very low, just to be very honest, because there is a cap of 1000 BTC, and I think this is going to be filled within just a few blocks. Second, this also means if you end up getting in, keep an eye on the Bitcoin transaction fee. This might actually cause a huge spike in Bitcoin transaction fees, and maybe even slow down the chain for a little bit. Anything is in play here. I just want to set your expectations right, that this is not going to be easy to get in there. Anyways, I'm going to leave a link to this site below. This is the site that you need to have bookmarked and that you need to watch. This is where it's going to be first launched and live. But basically think like this is going to be a Taylor Swift concert, but only 100 tickets will be sold, right? That's pretty much what's going to happen later. Anyways, that's Babylon, and we're very proud with Cryptocito to be one of the finality providers. So in the next step, you'll also then be able to choose your finality provider and basically delegate to us. Much appreciated. On testnet, we were ranked in the top 9, so you guys killed it on testnet for us. And let's see if we can repeat that on mainnet. But it's going to be very competitive, so we really rely on the Cryptocito community to delegate to us. Anyways, that said, I have a very hard time finding anything to be bearish on right now, right? We talked about this so much, and over the past 2.5 years, it's not been easy. We went through a lot. I've always tried to be positive, and I always am positive because I have this fundamental conviction about where crypto is going in the long term. I also have fundamental conviction about Cosmos and the interchain being all about sovereignty and interoperability, right? Those are the philosophical standards, and that's also represented in the technical architecture of how Cosmos works, right? Babylon itself is going to be a full-on Cosmos Layer 1 blockchain, an interchain stack built Layer 1 that is fully compatible with the IBC economy, and is also going to bring this Bitcoin staking into the Cosmos, which means these BTC that will be unlocked are primarily going to be used to secure Cosmos blockchains, to secure other Cosmos SDK chains. And Babylon is making huge waves in all of crypto, not just in Cosmos, in all of crypto. And many people probably don't even know that Babylon is a full-on Cosmos chain, right? If you're an Advisories subscriber for the past 2 years, you know that what Babylon is, right? You know the whole history and how they got into Cosmos. They were at Cosmoverse for the past 2 years. They're leading the Bitcoin track at Cosmoverse this year. So Babylon is a Cosmos core chain that is going to dominate an entire category, right? And actually they invent a whole new category. We've seen the same with Celestia, bringing this whole modular thesis to life, and data availability, right? No one talked about this before. Sane network for parallel EVM execution, you name it. Mantra chain in the tokenization field, Akash network in the AI field, Fetch, the superintelligence alliance, right? These are all Cosmos chains. This is all Cosmos collectively together, right? Cosmos is not one chain. Cosmos is an ecosystem of sovereign layer 1 blockchains. And we have another one that just raised over $100 million, which we will be talking about in a second. That said, there are always a few stones in our way, of course, on the way up, on the way back to glory, which we deserve after so many years. Mt. Gox, up until recently, had roughly $10 billion in their wallet and now only has $2 billion left. They unloaded a lot of BTC or distributed. I don't know actually how much already ended up with end users, but I think a lot already ended up with end users. And this does not seem to have hurt the price massively, at least not collapsed the price massively. We had this huge transaction yesterday, $784 million that was sent to another wallet here. So Mt. Gox is running out of powder, right? And eventually they will. And eventually that means no more Mt. Gox FAT, right? So that's gone. On the other hand, we do have political race that is going on. Kamala Harris potentially likely to nominate Gary Gensler as Treasury Secretary if elected. This would obviously be super bearish for crypto. We know that Gary Gensler is a crypto bear. He doesn't like crypto. He hates crypto. He wants crypto to be out of the US. And yeah, but it's also just an article here. Like, I mean, we don't know if that's actually a consideration that she would have, but yeah, we'll have to see. This would obviously be very bearish. Trump, on the other hand, said he would fire Gary Gensler day one, but Trump is also saying a lot of other things, and obviously both are now just probably saying what gives them votes, right? They're just saying whatever gives them votes and just to win the race. And then what they'll actually do when they're in office is another seminar, right? That's another question. But as of now, Trump has reclaimed the lead here in the race, according to Polymarket, which is a futures or predictions market, 53% versus 46 Harris, and a lot of the swing states are probably going to turn out in favor for Trump. You can see here the trajectory also after the assassination attempt, after Biden stepped down. A lot has happened here. Harris flipped Trump here for a couple of weeks, like 2 weeks, but now Trump unflipped Harris again. But yeah, we're 2 months out. 2 months out, and I think crypto is also going to be a conversation in the next 2 months for both parties. So it's going to be interesting to see how that impacts the price. Looking at the ETF flows, we see slight inflows on Bitcoin yesterday, but overall it seems to be, volumes are down a little bit over the past 2-3 weeks, and nothing meaningful happening here. On the Ethereum spot ETF side of things, we see Grayscale continues to offload ETH, and that's still causing here a negative total inflow or flow basically of 460 million. So a lot of it is getting absorbed. We also see BlackRock almost crossing $1 billion in ETH that they accumulated. Another bullish indicator is that the total stablecoin supply is approaching new all-time highs and has crossed 160 billion for the first time in 2 years, which is a very, very bullish indicator for kind of the stability of crypto and also for the sidelined dry powder that might be sitting there, and just liquidity getting back into crypto, right? And stablecoin liquidity is also always an interesting indicator. Then we also have some big news from Tether. They just announced the launch of a dirham-packed stablecoin. I have not seen on which chain they're going to issue that, probably on Tron or Ethereum, whatever. But yeah, very, very interesting developments. Paulo Arduino has been a lot here in the UAE. He's always speaking at some of the conferences. Maybe we can also get him for customers this year. That would be nice. Then I also want to show you this pie chart of Pump.Fun traders. What are actually profitable? What are actually making money? Because I know when you're on Twitter, when you're listening to this meme coin mania, the FOMO can get out of control because you think everyone is becoming a millionaire overnight, and it really messes with your emotions so hard that you're just randomly aping into a meme coin, trying to catch 100,000x overnight and become a millionaire like everyone else seemingly is, right? The truth is, however, that the vast majority has not made anything. 60% in fact lost money, 4.7% made no money, 24% made less than $100, 11.2% made more than 100, 3% more than 1,000, and only 0.5% made more than $10,000, which means 99.5% made less than 10,000, lost money or made no money. And this might be of no surprise if you have been in crypto for a while, because you probably know that whenever you have something going viral like pump.funded and meme coins, you probably know that, you know, the only content that goes viral in that context is those that are winning, but those that are losing, they never share their losses, right? But I think it's interesting to see this now visualized in a chart, that this is actually not the case. And I hope this really helps you in the future. If you know there's going to be new narratives in the future, new products that will go viral, and you will think immediately like you're late to the party, you're missing out, everyone is making money except for you. But the truth is, you need to control your emotions, you need to sit back. But if you end up aping into something, then you should always consider this as a lottery with very, very low chances of winning. And a lottery, a gambling basically, that you should already kind of expect that you're not going to win anything. Anyways, that's all about that. Now, let's get to the $140 million raise by Story Protocol, which is a brand new chain that is in development, that was led 3 times by A16Z. They led the seed round, the Series A, and now also the giant $80 million Series B round. And they also have co-investment from Polychain Capital, Alliance, Nomad, Samsung Next, First Ventures, Hashed out of Korea as well, and many more. Balaji also listed as an investor here, an angel investor, alongside some others, founders of other projects as well. And Paris Hilton, I mean, I don't know, probably she has a fund or something and it's just invested there, whatever. But $140 million. And the question is, what is Story Protocol? Well, we covered it here on Cryptocito a couple of weeks ago because we stumbled upon Story Protocol during our research and our monitoring as one of the up-and-coming Cosmos Layer 1 blockchains. So Story Protocol is also built on Cosmos, is joining the IBC gang. And in this post here from co-founder Jason Zhao, and he's also just explaining why building a sovereign Layer 1 blockchain in Cosmos was the best decision over deploying as an L2 on Ethereum or deploying on Solana, for example. And yeah, I mean, this is exactly what I've been preaching now for many, many years, right? Story needed to be extremely interoperable across all blockchains, in addition to off-chain settings. And that's why they decided to own their block space in a hub and spoke model. Without this interoperability, there would be nothing new, just IP siloed by software instead of pen and paper. So this is all what it's really about. And that is why Cosmos, in my view, is going to win. Cosmos is evolving into the interchain. And eventually, every single chain, every single product is going to become part of the interchain as soon as they enable IBC or connect to IBC. So that means Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, you name it, all of them will become part of the interchain by connecting to IBC. Some of them already are, because we have an IBC connection for Solana, for example, thanks to Picasso network. They're really one of the teams that is pushing really hard on exactly this vision for being interoperable with all blockchains. And that's really what Cosmos is about, right? Evolving into the interchain, and interchain basically becoming a synonym for crypto, right? Everything is going to be interchain. Jason then further explains also the challenges they ran into in their testnets, deploying as an L2 using the OP stack, the Optimism stack, and how they eventually ended up using the Cosmos stack by deploying an L1 that allowed them to tailor the entire stack for IP. Customization, sovereignty, interoperability. You probably get bored by me saying this now for years, non-stop, over and over again. But it's just always interesting to see how new teams that are also able to raise 9 figures are discovering that. So in that sense, welcome Story Protocol to the interchain. On the other hand, yes, we do have drama in Cosmos, but that's also because a lot of people truly care about this stuff. A lot of people truly care. They're invested not just financially, but with their whole careers, with their whole mind shares, with their whole free time, right? I also want to make clear that drama in Cosmos is not specific to Cosmos, right? It's not like only Cosmos has drama, all the other ecosystems are perfect. If you think back 2016, 17, 18, the block size wars that we saw in Bitcoin with all these forks happening, all these offensive language, toxicity, all these different camps that have formed in the Bitcoin ecosystem, which, to be honest, a lot of people were kind of, you know, getting really scared about, like, is this going to break Bitcoin, right? Now we're seeing a lot of infighting in the Ethereum community as well, with all these L2s. What is Ethereum, right? What is an L2? How does it all coexist, right? Who's better and why, and this and that, right? You're going to see naturally, if an ecosystem becomes successful, if anything becomes successful, if you become successful in your field, whatever you're doing in your life, in your career, you will get headwind. You will get people that want to throw stones your way. You will also see competitors popping up, you know, talking bad about you. And that's how this whole infighting starts, right? You'll also attract a lot of people that just want to see you fail. And unfortunately, in crypto, we're seeing this a lot within crypto. And one of the reasons why I started this channel in the first place is also because I think we need to focus more on positivity, embracing good ideas, embracing, respecting, really showing dignity, and listen to each other, right? And not just blindly judge each other. I see this so much happening where people who never talk to each other are just judging them for absolutely no reason, right? It's also this whole shit posting culture, which really became big a year, 2 years ago, where it's just like these anonymous Twitter accounts posting random stuff about projects and think it's fun, you know. This is all obviously part of the internet culture, part of how humans operate. But in Cosmos, we've been going through a lot, which means I think that we're kind of numb already to it. But also, we have to understand that this is not specific to Cosmos, and it's also not going away, right? Because there's just these natural elements of people caring, being involved, not just financially, but also invested with their whole mindshare, their whole careers, right? And just a natural side effect in my books. But the Skip team really is one of the best teams when it comes to putting into words the state of the ecosystem, but also being honest and positive about it, right? Also very bullish post from Lex on Cosmos and Atom and Passage positioning, that Passage also wouldn't exist without the Cosmos Hub and Atom. So yeah, I think we need more of that, more of the kind of real talk from some of the true builders in the space, and remind people why we're here for in Cosmos, in crypto, in everything that we're doing, right? Because I think now we're at a pivotal point where we're about to enter a new bull run. We're coming out of this harsh bear market that's been kind of ongoing for 2.5 years. We saw some light late last year, earlier this year, but that light got flushed down the toilet really quick. But now we're coming back, I think. We're coming back. The playing field is evening out, and I think that's always where you have a new wave of adoption, a new wave of liquidity inflows, and all those kind of things coming in. Next, we also have updates from Osmosis. Osmosis, in my view, one of the most undervalued coins in all crypto, to be honest. 400 million FDV market cap right now, which actually might decrease. The FDV might decrease because there's now the halving proposal. So last year we had a double thirdening of the Osmo inflation. Now Will BTC is kind of throwing out the idea, what if we halve the inflation? What if we reduce the inflation by 50%? And he's just laying out why this could actually work out. Pointing out also that there's been an increase in the staking ratio, basically, or more Osmo were staked. It grew from 275 million to 363, despite the double thirdening. And further decreasing the inflation might also be more bullish for a price, while also increasing the stake ratio to kind of further stabilize the chain and everything around it. We also have a proposal that just passed on Osmosis, adding the EVM. This is a proposal from evmos, evmos, that also proposes a revenue share. So, and that makes, number one, Osmosis more compatible with Ethereum, right, and kind of EVM wallets like MetaMask, but also enables EVM smart contract capabilities, which means more applications that could launch on Osmosis. And in return, because remember, this EVM OS software is licensed by the evmos team. So in return, they're proposing a revenue share program. And this means now that 20% of the taker fees from the EVM wallet transactions will go to the EVM OS team in year 1, 10% in year 2, and 5% thereafter. Anyways, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope I could set your expectations right for the Babylon launch. Remember, fees are probably going to go through the roof, and there's a very low chance that you will actually get in there, because all these scripts and bots are ready to front run you. And also check out Story Protocol. I personally have to do more research on that too, but it definitely sounds interesting. And yeah, that's another $140 million project race that is built in Cosmos. And it's cool to see them join the IBC gang. Anyways, I'll see you guys very soon. Until then, stay safe and be good.